At last. I've been expecting you, I beg. You're doubtless overwhelmed, so I will explain things as simply as I can. This is the Temple of Hylia, though it will not come to be known as the Sealed Temple sometime in the future. You stand in the past, ages before your own time. Here, the goddess Hylia had only just sealed away demise. And a little time has passed since the goddess sent the outcropping of rock into the sky that will one day be known as Skyloft. It is true to its name. You have passed through the gate of time to an era in the distant past. You will have many questions, but for now you must proceed back through the great doors behind you. It is there that the person you risk life and blood to defend waits for you.
You've come so far, Diebag. I'm glad you made it. I imagine Impa filled you in on everything. We've traveled very far from home, to this distant past. In this era, the wounds inflicted on the land during the battle between the goddess and the demon king known as Demise have not yet healed. All the fairy tales about the war we heard growing up in Skyloft, incredible as they may seem, they appear to be all too real. I think it's time you learn the whole story. Let me try to explain. The old gods created the supreme power that gave anyone who possessed it the ability to shape reality and fulfill any desire. They called it the Triforce. In his thirst to make the world his own, Demise readied a massive army of monsters for war. He sought to take the Triforce for himself by force. The goddess feared for her people. She used her power to send both of them and the Triforce into the sky on a slice of earth she cut away from the land. This floating rock became the new home of our people. In time, it came to be known as Skyloft. After a long and fierce battle, the goddess Hylia succeeded sealing away Demise. However, soon after the Demon King was in prison, it became clear that the seal would not hold long after his fearsome power. Hylia had suffered grave injuries in her battle with the Demon King. She knew that if he broke free again, there would be no stopping him. And if the Demon King were to free himself, it would mean the end of the world for all the beings of this land. In order to put the end to the Demon King, Hylia devised two separate plans and set them both into motion. First, she created Fee. She made the spirit that resides in your sword to serve a single purpose, to assist her chosen hero on his mission. Her second plan was to abandon her divine form and transfer her soul into a body of a mortal. She made this sacrifice, as you likely have guessed, so the supreme power created by the old gods could one day be used. For while the supreme power of the Triforce was created by gods, all of its power could never be wielded by one. Knowing this power was her last and only hope, the goddess gave up her divine powers and her immortal form. You've probably figured it out by now, haven't you, Diebag? You are the chosen hero, and I, Zelda. I am the goddess reborn as a mortal. The day of the ceremony, Giram's tornado tossed me out of the sky and down to the world below. I was nearly captured by the demonic forces, but I was rescued at the last moment by the old woman who lives in the sealed grounds. I had no memory of my existence as Hylia, but she explained it to me. She helped me to remember who I was and what I had to do. I set out to pray at the goddess statue located in each temple across the land. Each statue stirred up memories within me. After I visited them all, Impa, an agent of the goddess, led me here, to the past. All of this is part of the same great effort to prevent the revival of demise. Stripped of his true physical form by the seal that binds him, he takes the shape of an abomination. But even in this hideous state, he's more than capable of devouring this land if we allow him to do what he desires. We must stop him from freeing himself from the seal that imprisons him at any cost. That is why I intend to remain here, in this time and place, to sustain the seal the best as I can. As long as I continue this vigil, we may be able to prevent the Demon King from fully reviving himself in our own time. I must maintain the seal that that I created so long ago and keep it strong for as long as I am able. With the memories of my former life returning to me, I can see now that this is my purpose. Diabag, the goddess created Fee and the great blade she's a part of for a very specific reason. For the task of standing against demise in his monstrous form he now assumes rests solely on your shoulders. Back in our own time, you've already driven him back into the prison twice now. I can't thank you enough for that, Diabag. During your long journey, you've grown so much. You've learned wisdom from solving devious puzzles and traps. You've gained power by honing and tempering both yourself and your sword. Oh my gosh, that was slow. And by overcoming the trials set before you by the goddess, you found true courage. Now that those qualities reside in you, you are truly worthy of wielding the power of the old gods left behind by our kind. You can claim the Triforce. Valiant hero, you've endured many hardships and journeyed far in your quest to reach this place. Along your travels you have found wisdom, power, and courage. For this I shall bless your sword with the goddess's power. May it give you and your sword the strength to drive back the abomination that threatens this land. The mark that you see upon the back of your hand is proof that you are the hero of legend and that within you dwells sacred power. It is the mark of the Triforce. Stand now, Diabag. Draw your sword.
The Goddess Blade has blessed your blade, and the Master Sword has at last achieved its ultimate form. The sword is now imbued with the mystical power to drive back demons, and only Diabag may wield it.
Diabag, before I say another word, I feel like I owe you an apology. You see, the mark of the Triforce on your hand is a symbol of the greatest power in this world. If you can obtain the actual Triforce, we will have all the power to vanquish demise once and for all. The problem is, among the countless souls in this world, only a select few, those with an unbreakable spirit, can wield its might. It is impossible to know the true reason why the old gods created the Triforce, but I have a theory of my own. The gods created the Triforce, yet they specifically designed it so that their own kind could never use its power. Somehow, I think that it may have been their way of giving hope to all those mortal beings on land. Which brings us back to you. To face demise and give the land hope, the goddess Hylia needed someone with an unbreakable spirit. That someone is you, Diabag. Spirit alone wasn't enough. You had to overcome many trials and awaken the hero within yourself so that you could wield that supreme power. And so and so I knew that if it meant saving Zelda, you would throw yourself headfirst into any danger without even a moment's doubt. I used you. I can't begin to tell you how sorry I am for pulling you into all this, Diebag. But you have to understand, this is a war, and the fate of the land hangs in the balance. I need your strength to tip the scales in our favor. All that may be well-intentioned and true, but it doesn't mean that it's right, and it doesn't excuse my actions. But I am prepared to pay the price for what I've done. To ensure that the seal holds, I will remain here in this time, deep in sleep for 1,000 years. Diebag, I can't say it enough. I'm so sorry for the way I've got you involved in this. But until my memory of things before our lifetime returned to me, I had no idea we were fated to carry such a heavy destiny. Before all this, I was happy just spending my days hanging around with you in Skyloft. I wanted that feeling to last forever. While it's true that I am Hylia Reborn, I am still my father's daughter and your friend. I'm still your Zelda. When Demise is finally gone, there will be no more need for the seal that binds him, and then I'll be able to wake up. So I'm gonna ask you a favor, Sleepyhead. Ever since we were kids, I'd always be the one to wake you up when you slept in. But this time, when all of this is over, will you come and wake me up?
Hello there everyone, my name is Overgamer3. We got to do some more Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I don't think there's much to be said, although I don't know how... If you look closely about the details, yes, we just got imbued with the power of the Triforce. And the color scheme of our scabbard changed once again. Don't know how that works. It's been a thing that's been bugging me for a very long time, but you know, with the other temples, okay, there's a little time frame that can help that, but I don't think the scabbard's magical too. This ain't Sonic and the Black Knight. With all of that said, I love this scene. The scene that you just watched is fantastic, if you ask me. It's just great. The writing is excellent. I find that the emotion, shots, cinematography is great, and just a whole lot of goodies. With all of that done, we don't have much to do here. So, let's go back to our own time. So you've returned. Then, you know everything. On the other side of that gate, Zelda waits, suspended in a sleep without end. But do not despair, for she is still alive and well. True to legend, the Triforce is the one thing with the power to vanquish demise. It is thought to have been hidden within Skyloft by the goddess. Sadly, that is all we know where it rests. The other clues to its whereabouts have been lost through the ages. I beg, you have likely come to the same conclusion, but I will spell it just the same. The key to finding the Triforce must be in Skyloft. Go now, Dibeg. Find the Triforce.
Whoa! Whoa there, hold up! Diebag, there's something I gotta tell you. So Zelda, how's she holding up? Was she okay when you saw her? Don't go to actually, I'm gonna have to read all the shit that comes after it. That's terrible. It's gotta be so hard for that poor girl. But you're gonna do something about this mess, right? Diebag, I've made up my mind. I'm not going back. I'm staying right here with Granny. Aw, don't look so bummed out. Do I look sad? Nah, I'm doing what I want to do. I don't know how to explain it, but I got this feeling in my belly that there's work here to be done. Someone's gotta watch that big ugly monster, and someone's gotta make sure Granny's doing it all right. It ain't as action-packed as what you're doing, but maybe it's my destiny, you know what I mean? Besides, it's not so bad here. Living up in the sky was okay, I guess, but don't you just love the way it smells down here? What? That's not weird to say. Check it out. Zelda and Granny have brought life back to the land here. I bet even the weakest sapling could grow into a beast of a tree in soil like this. It'd brighten this place up a little too. I mean, sure, it'd take a few years for it to grow, but as far as I'm concerned, I got nothing to do. It's weird to say it out loud, but that's just how I feel right now. So yeah, you know, when you get back to Skyloft, just do me a favor and let people know that I'm doing okay down here. Colin and Stritch might get a little emotional since they look up to me, but you tell them I'm happy, okay? Thanks, Diebag.
You know, this is just...
Hard to leave the old girl all to herself here. But don't you dare go telling Colin and Stritch that I'm down here taking care of some old lady.
Sure thing, buddy. You know, as much as I shit on the Imprisoned, because it is a shitty boss fight, and I'm still gonna say that for years to come, the Imprisoned fucking sucks. Moments like this just makes you go, oh, that's nice. And that's what I really like about this game. When people tell me Skyward Sword sucks, I just tell them that Zelda is the best character in the entire game. Zelda is one of the most involved characters in that game. Zelda actually means a thing in that game, in this game. That Zelda actually does shit. That the relationship between characters are better. That a ton of stuff just works better here. And it wouldn't in other Zelda games, or simply it didn't. So to see something done so unbelievably well is just... it's just fun. It's a relief to see that Zelda game can finally do relationships right. with all that done, we've seen quite a bit today. To those who wish to go any on yonder, that was a weird way to phrase it. I am fairly tired. People kept interrupting me during this specific session, which was a bitch considering there was a lot of cutscenes, so it's gonna be a bitch to edit. Anyway, anywho, my name is Lovergamer301, and I'll see you all next time.